Hello all and welcome to my channel, where science, technology, engineering, and math are made easy. Today we're going to be covering lists in the Python programming language. Without further ado, let us begin. First of all, what are lists? Lists are when a variable stores multiple values in Python. If you've ever done any programming in C, you have probably heard of arrays, which are very similar. Lists are used to keep track of things, to do math, for a whole range of functions in Python. I'm not going to show you everything about lists, but I am going to give you a very basic yet detailed overview by showing 16 different functions for lists. So let's show it to you. First of all, let's start with the type function, which tells you what your variable is. So I'm going to have alpha equals 1, 2, 3. Now alpha is my variable, and it stores the values of 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to find what type this is. Type alpha. And it says list. Now there's different value types in Python. There's integers, there's floats, there's strings, there's booleans, but this one is a list because it's a variable that stores multiple values. Now let's do the next function, the len, which tells you how many values are in your list. So I'm going to have alpha equals 0, -1, and 4. There are len alpha. There are 3 values in the list. Now if I add 44, there's 4 values in the list. There's not much to say here. So I'm going to go to ID, which tells you where your list is stored in memory. Alpha equals 1, 2, 3. ID alpha. Alpha is stored in this exact numeric location in the memory. This is where it's stored. Now if you're trying to find the location of one of the values, the 1, the 2, or the 3, or any other value you put there, it would be next to this number, but would be slightly different, just as if you'd create another list with similar values. So now, let's go on to the subscript, which tells you the individual location of the values in the list. So I'm going to have alpha equals 44, 48, and 43. So I'm going to have alpha 0. So what's going on here? Well, a subscript is a values location in the list, and you always start at 0. Or whether it's 44, 4, or 444, the first spot in the list is always a 0. Then it goes to 1, then it goes to 2, then it goes to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So if alpha 1, it would be 48. If I have alpha 2, it would be 43. So there's not much else to say about that. Now let's use a for loop, which prints out the values in the list using a loop. So I'm going to have alpha equals 1, 2, 3, and 9. For I in alpha, print I. And this prints out the values in the list. So it's a basic for loop, but with a little twist on it. Now let's use the count function, which tells you how many specific values are in a list. So I'm going to have alpha equals 4, 4, 5. So I'm going to have alpha dot count 5. The output is 1 because 5 only appears in the list once. The output of 4 is 2 because 4 appears in the list twice. So with the count function, you're just counting how many times an individual value appears in the list. It's very helpful. Now let's use the index, which gives the subscript of the value. So alpha equals 4, 5, 6. Alpha dot index 4. So what does this tell us? Well, remember when I did the subscript? With the subscript, you plug the subscript value in and you get the list value out. So the subscript value here is 2, and the value stored at 2 is 43. Well, down at index, you put the value in, and you get the subscript out. So the subscript of 4 is 0, the subscript of 5 is 1, and the subscript of 6 is 2. Now let's go into pop. Pop removes the last value in the list. So I have alpha equals 1, 2, 3. I have to put my brackets here. So I'm going to have alpha dot pop print. So this is the value that's removed from the list. The 3 is removed. Now what if I wanted to see the whole list with the 3 removed? Since we have the pop function, the 3 is removed, so it's just 1 or 2. But suppose I wanted to remove the 1. Well, that's where the remove comes in. It gets rid of a value in the list. You can have it function as the pop and remove the final value in the list, or you can use it more specifically to remove any value you don't want from the list. So we have alpha equals 1, 2, 3, alpha dot remove 2, print alpha. So since I removed the 2, the only values left are the 1 and the 3. Now let's use the sort, which organizes a list from the smallest value to the largest value. Alpha equals 1453, negative 756, and 476. So I'm going to have alpha dot sort. I'm going to print alpha. And what this does is it organizes the list from smallest to largest. Pretty self-explanatory. Now we've already seen pop and remove where you get rid of values, but what if you wanted to input new values? So I'm going to have alpha equals 1, 2, 3. Suppose I wanted to add a 45 to the list for whatever reason. Alpha dot insert 0, comma 45, print alpha. So what has this done? Well, down here, we have two numeric values. The second one is the value you want to input. I can make it 45, I could make it 16, I can make it 14, 15. Now right here is the subscript in the list. So suppose I want to put 45 ahead of 1, I'd make it, well, 1. And suppose I'd want to put it at the end of the list, I would put 4. So that's pretty much how it works. Now let's look at the extend for loop, printing out the value of a list twice. Alpha equals 1, 2, 3. Alpha dot extend alpha print alpha. This basically just prints out the values in your list twice. You have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Then you have heterogeneous lists. This one is very helpful and you'll definitely use it in Python. It's a list with multiple value types. So I'm going to have alpha equals, I'm going to have an integer, which is 1. I'm going to have a float, which is a decimal, so 3.14 or pi. I'm going to have a string, which is, I'm going to make it WASD, and then I'm going to have a Boolean value, which is true. So that's basically a heterogeneous list that has multiple value types. Now let's do indexing. When dealing with multiple lists, it gives you the index of an entire list. So this gets into using multiple lists. So for more advanced projects, you're going to be using more than just one list type. You're going to have several list types. So I'm going to have alpha equals 1, 2, 3. Beta equals 4, 5, 6. Delta equals 7, 8, 9, and finally gamma, which equals 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to have zeta, which equals all the other lists. So zeta stores alpha, beta, delta, and gamma. So suppose I wanted to access an individual list. So I'm going to go zeta 0. Now remember the subscripts from before, how you start with 0 and you count up? Alpha is 0, beta is 1, delta is 2, and gamma is 3, so on and so forth. Now if I put beta first, then delta, then gamma, then alpha, that would change the order of things a little bit, because this matters more than this. So suppose I put beta first, then alpha, and I keep my subscript to 0, I get 4, 5, and 6 instead of the 1, 2, and 3. Now let's use the iteration. The iteration's pretty much the same thing, but you print out all the values at once. So I'm just going to copy this. Alpha equals 1, 2, 3. Beta equals 4, 5, 6. Delta equals 7, 8, 9. And gamma equals 10, 11, 12. And zeta equals all these other lists, alpha, beta, delta, gamma. And now I'm going to print them all at once. Print zeta. I print 1 through 12. And you can see they're divided by lists. This is list alpha, list beta, delta, and gamma. Now for the final function, I'm going to use the comprehension, which is used to print out huge values in a pyramid. So I'm going to have alpha equals this for I in range 10, alpha dot append print I. I need to reverse this a little bit. I'm working on it real quick. So here's how it's supposed to work. So you assign your list a value of absolutely nothing. Then you use a for loop. For I in range 10, you have to carefully select your number depending on your want, then alpha dot append I, and then print alpha. You notice how it starts at 0, then 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 to 5, 0 to 6, 0 to 7, 0 to 8, 0 to 9. Now you wonder why it doesn't go to 10? Well, because the code starts count at 0, but it stops right before the number you put here. So if I put 11, it would stop right before 11. If I put 7, it would stop at 6 right before 7. So that's pretty much how it works. Please tell me what you think of that video, how I can improve myself, any feedback. Oh, and one more thing. This is my new website. It's still rough around the edges. Tell me what you think of it, and please give me feedback. Thank you for watching my video, and have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this, and goodbye.